And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday, the 3rd of April, 2020. It's the birthday of Washington Irving, 1783, New York City. He set out to be a writer, wrote theater reviews. He wrote essays under the pen name Dietrich Knickerbocker, including the story The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle. He also wrote about Christmas. He may have been the first person to write about Santa flying in a sleigh in his History of New York. Charles Dickens gave Washington Irving credit for that in A Christmas Carol. And it was Washington Irving who first referred to New York City as Gotham, which means goat town, comes from a town called Gotham in Lincolnshire, England, famous for stories about its illiterate residents. Washington Irving, who said, "I am always at a loss to know how much to believe of my own stories." It's the birthday of the columnist Herb Caen, born Sacramento, 1916, wrote a column in the San Francisco Chronicle starting in 1938. He was just 22 years old. And he continued writing 1,000 words a day, 6 days a week, for almost 60 years. It was the longest-running newspaper column in American history. Herb Caen, who said, "I'm going to do what every San Franciscan does who goes to heaven. I'll look around and say it's not bad, but it ain't San Francisco." And it was on this date in 1968 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his final public speech. He was in Memphis to support sanitation workers who were out on strike. He was not scheduled to speak at this meeting, but people hoped that he would. And so, even though he was exhausted, under the weather, suffering from a sore throat, he came down and delivered his speech without notes, in which he said, "We have an opportunity to make America a better nation." And he ended his speech saying, "We have some difficult days ahead, but it doesn't matter with me now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain, and I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land. And I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord." He nearly collapsed, finished his speech, had to be helped back to his seat. He was assassinated the next day. He was 39 years old. It's the birthday of a writer whose children's books have sold more than 20 million copies, Sandra Keith Boynton, born to Quaker parents in Orange, New Jersey, 1953. She majored in English at Yale, became a designer of greeting cards. It was she who designed a happy birthday card with a hippopotamus, a bird, and 2 sheep on it that said, "Hippo, Birdie, 2 U's," which sold 10 million copies. Her children's books include Hippos Go Berserk, Chocolate, The Consuming Passion, and Philadelphia Chickens. Here's a poem by Hayden Saunier, Hard Facts, Especially. Most everything we're taught is wrong, especially fixed rules about small engine repair in adverse marine conditions, walking on ice, and anything to do with people, especially our own strange selves. And so the door to the ordinary miracle swings open. Hard Facts, especially a poem by Hayden Saunier from How to Wear This Body, published by Terrapin Books and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.